Oh, some other things that you should be looking at that I think are very emblematic in this moment of exactly what I just mentioned. That is one of the things that if you step back a little bit and look, you will see that while the Trump administration has talked a great deal about cutting government spending, in fact, it hasn't cut government spending at all. In fact, government spending is up, not down. What they have done is they have cut the things that I've talked about. USAID, for example, which was less than 1% of the federal budget. Our foreign aid was part of our foreign aid. They have decimated that, and children are dying that counted on us for food. They've cut scientific research. They've cut education. They've cut uh, the national parks. They've cut the EPA. They've cut all those pieces of the modern world that, as I've argued before, create wealth, not cash. That is, they make us a people that are able to enjoy our time here on earth and feel safe and able to work hard and prosper, or at least that's the idea behind them. They've cut those things, but they've dramatically increased spending for border security, the construction of detention facilities, for immigrations and customs enforcement, or ICE. Those things are significantly more funded than they were before, quite significantly more. And one of the things that is worth paying attention to is that at the same time that the United States is cutting, well, medical care, for example. A few days ago, the Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bennett, Bessent, I'm sorry, announced that the U.S. will be propping up Argentina's economy to the tune of $20 billion with a B. $20 billion. And that is because Javier Milei, who's the leader of Argentina, is a Trump ally. And what he has done there, the slashing through of government services and the cutting of the government and that sort of radical populist right idea, is precisely what the Trump administration has said it was going to do. And when Milei first did that, very early on, it did seem like it was going to work. Now, of course, it hasn't worked at all. People are incredibly frustrated. The peso is falling apart and the economy is in huge trouble. So rather than looking at that and saying, oh boy, this doesn't look good, the US is pumping money into Argentina to prop him up with the idea that his miracle is just around the corner, although economists like Paul Krugman say, no, it's not. This is not going to work. And again, I'm a big believer in helping everybody around the world achieve a higher standard of living. But this sure just looks like pumping my tax dollars into supporting one of Trump's allies. So I'd pay attention, especially since Argentina did something else just before this all took place. Argentina suspended its grain export tax, which meant that they undercut everybody else in the soybean market. And when they undercut everybody else in the soybean market, China, which does not want to buy soybeans from the United States because of Trump's tariff walls, promptly bought up all their soybeans. So American farmers cannot sell their soybeans. And now Trump is talking about bailing them out. So what you're seeing here is the use of American tax dollars essentially to support the radical right-wing project of getting rid of the modern governments and replacing them with authoritarians. And I know that sounds like it's really in the weeds, and you think, sitting there thinking, I don't really care about the Argentinian financial crisis. But you probably do care about the US government saying, well, we're going to prop them up with $20 billion, and which, maybe will be a great investment, but maybe won't.